Aloha everyone. How are you guys doing today? Hope you are all having an amazing day. Hope that you had a wonderful Halloween yesterday. My daughter dressed up as a witch. She's 11. She dressed up as a witch, and I think that's a good thing. I remember there was a few years ago, she had been a princess every single year, and she looks at me and she says, "Daddy, I've been so good all of these years. This year I want to be bad." And she dressed up as like this voodoo doll. I was like, oh no, she's getting older. The princess days are done. For those of you who have kids, you know what that's all about, huh? Arjul, how's it going, man? Happy November. It's November 1st. So glad that you're on here, Arjul. I appreciate that. I'll be seeing you soon, man. I'm actually heading up to Orange County today and going to be teaching our Master Practitioner Training tomorrow. Tomorrow we're going to be teaching the Master Practitioner Training. Rashid from Nigeria, my man, thank you so much for being on here. I truly appreciate that. Thank you for joining us. Hey, I want to talk to you guys about something, but first, I know that there are a few people on here that I have never met before. Aprilani is on here. Aprilani, I know you really well. You've been to a bunch of my trainings and you're a big fan, and I'm a big fan of yours too, Aprilani. Thank you so much for all of the support over the years. My name is Dr. Matt James, for those of you that I haven't met, and for the past 35 years, I have been studying neuro-linguistic programming, and I have been studying Huna and all of these mindfulness-based techniques that have been the undercurrent, the fundamental teachings behind some of the most important people out there that are making a change in the world, including you guys. Faith, so grateful that you're on here, Faith. I appreciate that. When you're going to be in Western Canada, check out our website, nlp.com. And I know we're going back up to Vancouver, British Columbia, and we're going to be pretty close. We're going to be in Seattle and Portland, which I know is not Canada. We're going to be in Vancouver, British Columbia pretty soon. Let me jump right back into what we're talking about today. Now, I've been studying this stuff since I was a kid. I've been studying mindfulness-based techniques. I've been studying, how do you maintain your focus? And I titled this live Facebook today. I titled it, "Face Your Fears, You'll Be Thankful Later." Face your fears, you'll be thankful later. I want you to think about that for a moment. I want you to think about what it would mean to truly, absolutely face your fears. I mean, here's the deal. If you could say to yourself 5-10 years ago, just deal with that, get ready to move forward, everything will be awesome, and you could push yourself 5 years ago to take that first step, I know you would. I think all of you would. I have in my own life had to face gigantic fears, times where I've had to go all in, times where I've had to sit there and go, do I want to push forward and take this jump, or am I going to allow my baggage to hold me back? The webinar that I did 2 days ago was on baggage. How do you identify baggage? So first of all, let's get something really clear. If this was a live training, which I'll be teaching tomorrow, I'd look out at the group and I'd go, how many of you have ever encountered an emotion in the moment that has just locked you down? If you have, I don't know, hit your love button or hit your thumbs up or whatever it is, hit your likes. I have. We have a training that we do called the Neuro-Linguistic Programming Scholarship Practitioner Training. And it used to be $4,000. And when I wanted to switch it to being under $200, I faced a huge amount of fear. When my relationship ended and I was faced with either being alone or having to put myself out there again in a relationship. God, how many of you guys have ever had a relationship end and all of a sudden you're like, oh my God, do I even want to put myself out there again? Do I even want to be vulnerable and open myself up? I tell you, we face our fears all the time. Baggage is past-based. Fears in the moment still exist. We're going to be doing a webinar. We're going to be doing a webinar next week. And my fiance, Tris, is going to be doing a webinar next week where she talks about how do you deal with emotions in the moment. Because even after you've let go of baggage, you can still have emotions in the moment. So let's get really clear on something. Letting go of baggage in the past doesn't negate having emotional responses in the moments. So in the moments where you are faced with this, I got to either push forward or I got to hold myself back, that whole fight or flight thing that can come up for some people, you're still going to face emotions in the moment. You got to be able to separate these two concepts out, because I know a lot of you guys have techniques. John, I think you said earlier on the feed that you have faced these. I have too. Doesn't matter how long you've been doing this, you can encounter baggage and you can also encounter emotions in the moment. So again, to reiterate from my webinar 2 days ago, how do you know when it's baggage? When your response is out of proportion. When your response is out of proportion to what is occurring outside of you, you know it's baggage. The problem with baggage is that it tips the scale, right? So think of a scale. You have a moment like you just got out of a relationship and you're about to put yourself out there again. You're feeling vulnerable. Well, it's okay to have an emotional response to that. Emotions give us feedback as to how things are going in our environment. The problem is, though, when you have baggage, the baggage goes on the side of the scale that has all of the emotions, and it begins to tip the scale. So you pay more attention to the baggage than you do the external. Then you don't deal with the external. Let me say that again, because this is really important. When you have an experience externally that is going to generate an emotional response, there are certain techniques that you can do to reduce the emotional response and be able to still move forward. The Hawaiians use the term imua. Imua means to move forward. Sometimes you got to just face your fear. Sometimes you got to just push through. But when you have baggage, the baggage from the past attaches to that fear in the moment, and the scale tips. And the response, your focus, everything goes more into the emotional response as opposed to dealing with the external. Trish, who's my fiance, we've been together now for a couple of years, and I had ended a relationship of 14 years. Someone I worked with, someone I respected, and still do respect. Mother of my kids, an amazing woman. And when that ended, you guys, I had a whole bunch of baggage to deal with from the past. I had negative emotions, limiting beliefs to let go of. Once I let that go, when I started dating Trish, I had nervousness come up. I had fear come up. Fear. And I'm the guy that teaches people how to let go of negative emotions, right? And I'm like, is this baggage? No, I'm justified in having a fear. You guys got to be okay having the emotions in the moment. It's okay to have the emotion in the moment. I was justified to have a fear. And I'm going to put myself out there again? What are my kids going to think? What are my students going to think? Do I want to even open myself up? Do I want to be vulnerable? Those are all questions that can bring up an emotional response. Again, the problem is if you have baggage from the past, that baggage attaches to the emotional response and amplifies the emotion. The book that I just wrote, and you guys, thank you so much for all of you who ordered the book, Mental and Emotional Release. It hit bestseller on Amazon. And thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. I mean, I really appreciate that. My goal is to just get this information out there because you can be free of that baggage. I had to become free of the baggage. I've had to become free of the baggage in career, in relationship, in health and fitness. I'm no different than you guys. Yeah, I learned these things at an early age. Yes, I get to teach these amazing techniques to thousands of people. It doesn't negate the fact that I'm still human and I still got to deal with stuff. We all do. Once you let go of that baggage from the past, you're able to more adequately face the experiences in the moment where you have to navigate, what do I do now? So that webinar is next week. What I want to talk about today is just being willing to face that. Just being willing to face that fear. To stop looking outside and saying it's that person's fault. It's not my fault. It's so easy in a relationship to blame your past partner on the fact that you're, I don't know, what's the appropriate term? I'm messed up, but it's not my fault. It's my partner's fault. My ex-partner's fault. Oh, I'd be so much better in business, but my last business partner completely. It's so easy to go into blamer mode. And when you go into blamer mode, you're taking away your own power. You're giving away your own power. Because what you're saying is that that person has power over you. Here's what I teach my kids, you guys. No one can make you feel any way. Only you can make yourself feel a certain way. And the time to face your baggage maybe isn't when your baggage is all lit up. The time to face your baggage is when everything is calm. You know, maybe it's November 1st, it's a Wednesday, and you're sitting there going, I want to have more empowerment in, and you pick an area, health and fitness, relationship, career, spirituality, personal growth. I want to have a better connection with my kids. What do I have to face? What do I have to face inside myself in order to get rid of the baggage and begin to be able to express what it is that I truly desire in my life? What is it that I truly want in my life? What do I want to connect with? One of the questions that I always ask myself, because I want to give you guys a simple formula that you can follow. One of the questions that I always ask myself is a future-based question. In NLP terms, it's called a context reframe. A context reframe is a fancy way of saying you're looking at your problem from a different perspective and changing the context. In this case, my use of a context reframe is temporal-based. Okay, now that I've spoken NLP and impressed you guys, let me speak plain English. I fast forward out into the future, as I've mentioned to you guys quite a few times, and I look back and go, what would I tell myself today? The future-based me. What's a better path to go down? Is it a better path to go down the solo path and to be alone and to, cry myself to sleep every night and go, oh, I could have had so much more, but my partner? Or is it a better path to have gone out there and made myself vulnerable and delve into a relationship? What would I rather be? Would I rather be the guy that totally changed the model of NLP and switched it so it was a $200 practitioner training instead of a $4,000 practitioner training, and done that to try to make a difference in this world, or be too afraid to do that and not follow through on my mission? Then the answer becomes really simple. Would I rather hug my kid and tell him I love him today, or know that 5 years from now I'm going to have to deal with baggage and issues in the future? I look out in the future, I look back at now, and I say, what would be a better thing to do? Yeah, it might be uncomfortable to start your workout program today. Man, my lower back is sore in a good way. I switched up my workout routine. My body hurts. Your body hurts when you start a new workout routine. Your emotions can feel raw when you get into a new relationship. Your mind can feel stretched when you start learning new things. Your energy can feel all over the place when you put yourself into new situations. And what would you rather do? Would you rather do that and grow and empower even more? Or would you rather look back 5 years from now and go, I wish I had started my workout routine 5 years ago. I wish I had put myself out there to my kids, my loved ones. I wish I had read a whole bunch of books. No. Regret is difficult to release, you guys. Regret is difficult to release. It's not an easy emotion to let go of, because sometimes the opportunity is gone. Sometimes it's too late to say thank you. It's too late to say I love you. Here's the deal. You have to begin to believe in you. You've got to start with yourself and looking inside and asking, what baggage am I willing to be free of? And what am I willing to face right now so that I can begin to become the person that I want to be? Start with being. Who do you want to be? So stop for a moment and just think, in 5 years, and if that's too far, 1 year from now, who do you want to be? We sometimes spend so much time in the future. I want to give you guys a target. A target. Who do you want to be? 12 months from now, it's the end of 2018. Who do you want to be? In your career, in your relationship, in your health and fitness, that's an end result that you're looking for. Who do you want to be? And what do you need to deal with today? What step do you need to take on November 1st, 2017, to move 1 day closer to that? And then 1 day closer the next day, and 1 day closer the next day. You guys got to give yourself a break every once in a while. I've shared with you guys problems that I've gone through in my relationship career. I hit a level of obesity in my 20s. I became obese. 5'9", 235 pounds. Back in the 90s, they labeled that as obese. I don't know what they label it as now. Don't care. I didn't get fit in one day. I didn't get healthy in one day. It took day after day of working out, of eating right, of making the daily decisions. So you need two things in this formula. You need that target out there in the future. You want to have that target out there that's your guiding star. It's your North Star. It's your, here's where I'm heading. And then you got to bring all of your focus to today. You got to bring all of your focus to right now, and not tomorrow, not next week, not next month. Right now, what are you willing to do? Are you willing to invest the time in yourself? Because I know you're worth it. I truly believe you're worth it. I believe I'm worth it. I believe everyone is worth it. Are you willing to invest the time in yourself to take that next step? Then you got to ask yourself, where are you on the journey? I mean, truly do an accountability check. Where am I? I remember back in 1997, I sat there and dusted off my old goal of wanting to make a difference in this world, make a difference in this field. I want to add credibility to it. I get to celebrate with you guys this week my book coming out on mental and emotional release, where it wasn't a solo project. I had to have students help me do the research. Dr. Larry, Dr. Rose, Dr. Tracy, Dr. Patrick, Triss. I had to have people help me put this book together. That was a thing that I set 20 years ago, you guys. 20 years ago, 1997. My first step was begin to take care of my own career and my own path. Become a master trainer of NLP. My next step was to get a master's in business. Next step was to get a doctorate degree. That took 10 years. In 2007, when I became a doctor and I was a master trainer of NLP and I'm out there teaching this stuff, okay, how do I start doing research? And the first research I did was Ho'oponopono, not even MER. And then my students stepped up and said, I can do MER research. And then it took 3 or 4 years to get the book complete. What I get to share with you guys in this book, that's a goal that I set 20 years ago. 46, I was 26 when I set that goal. Sometimes shit doesn't happen overnight. Not allowed to say that on Facebook, my bad. Sometimes things don't happen overnight, you guys. Sometimes they take time. I would rather be the person that said I just dedicated 20 years to getting this one thing out to you guys so you are armed with a tool that ends your excuses than be the guy that goes, oh, I wish 20 years ago I had started going to school. That's just it. One day at a time. One day at a time, believe in you. Believe it. What is the saying there's a saying that I used to put out there a lot, and it's called know it, believe it, make it your reality. 3 things. Listen carefully. Know it. Know that this stuff is real at this point. Mental and emotional release, clinically proven, gets rid of depression. Your baggage could be gone. It's in your hands. Ho'oponopono heals up your relationships. You could get rid of your baggage. It's research. That's done. Know it. Energy is real. Energy affects everything. Science, done. Stick a fork in it. What I say at practitioner trainings. Water is wet, the sky is blue. Energy is real. It affects you too. This is why we talk about energy in our NLP trainings, our mindset, how it trickles down. Know it. Now take the next step. Believe it. Don't just believe in the teachings, believe in you. The purpose of these teachings aren't to impress you with me or to impress you with NLP or Huna. I don't care about any of that. Believe in you. Believe in yourself. Know it, believe it, and then make it your reality. Your beliefs become your reality, not the other way around. So you got to start with you. If you know it and you believe in it strong enough, and you free yourself of the baggage and begin to take those steps every single day, pretty soon your reality will become that thing that you want it to be. Then you can be who you're meant to be, do what you're meant to do, and have the things that you truly deserve. Whew. Sorry, I'm all fired up today. Massively fired up. Anyway, I always like to go about 30 minutes. I try to save about 15 for questions because I get some amazing questions from you guys. Margarita, thank you so much for joining from Florida Faith. And by the way, if you have a group that you are connected with that you think would benefit from this, link it over to them. Share this information with them. At the end of the day, I just want to get this information out. Martha, Yeah, absolutely. I got a divorce under my belt. I was so embarrassed about that until I walked into my dentist office and the lady at the front goes, hey, how's your? And I'm like, oh, we got divorced. And she's like, hey, welcome to the club. Shit happens, man. I've never claimed that NLP or Huna or any of this stuff makes your life perfect, Martha. What I've always claimed is it's a tool to help you. My ex is already remarried, extremely happy, doing incredibly well in her career. And we text a lot to make sure that our kids are in the best hands and in the best shape possible. Sometimes you can't force someone or something to change, and we both came to that conclusion. That happens. Life happens. David, Arjul, Aprilani, Janice, David, everyone watching. David, I think you're just giving a shout out to everyone that's on here with us. I appreciate that. I like David answered for me. Dr. Matt's been divorced for quite a while now. It's true. I have been. He's with Tris Thorpe now. David, you're a big fan of Tris. I love that. John, cool question. Is the baggage that we have, is it already on one side of the scale as soon as the event happens? John, if this was interactive, I would ask you, how do you want me to explain it? From an energy or a doctor of psychology perspective? But since I don't have time to scroll down and see what your response is, I'm going to go with energy. It's the easiest way to explain it. So external events, John, they trigger us. An external event is real. It triggers us, right? You go out on a first date and you feel butterflies in your stomach. Now, I can tell you as a doctor, putting on the doctor hat, that when you have anxiety and when you have excitement, the same part of your brain lights up. So John, your brain and the energy in your body can't tell the difference between anxiety and excitement. They're the same thing going on at the physiological level. What changes it then? What makes it go from anxiety to excitement? How you label it, how you perceive it, and your past-based baggage. So what happens is we have an external event that triggers an emotional response. So we perceive something outside of us, it triggers an emotional response, and that emotional response, if it's strong enough, connects up all of the other same emotions and brings all of that into play. So I don't care which side of the scale it's on, it goes like this. Experience that occurs outside triggers emotions inside. If you have baggage, the emotions that are triggered inside energetically link up to all of the other similar emotions, and that begins to weigh down that side of the scale. You then go internal, and you're no longer able to deal sufficiently with the external. That can then trigger things like mild fight or flight response. It can trigger things like any other type of fear-based reaction. I guess fight or flight is pretty big picture and handles a lot of things. But John, that's a simple explanation of it as to how it occurs. So let's say you get rid of your fear from the past. Let's say you use a technique like mental and emotional release or Ho'oponopono or any other amazing technique that's out there. That lets go of the baggage. Now the baggage is gone. You have an emotional response. You have an emotional experience, an external experience. It creates an emotional response, but now they're in proportion to each other. And you can sit there and go, wow, I'm really, really nervous right now. But I'm just going to go for it. It's like you can navigate it a little bit easier, John. I hope that helps. Sarah, so cool to see you on here. So great to see you. Living at Cause. My man Greg is living at Cause. Aditi just giving a big shout out. Margarita, I'm on my second divorce. My heart goes out to you, Margarita. It's not easy. It's not. My ex and I, we both came to the exact same conclusion. And honestly, it was a nice night. We both sat there and went, we did our work. We let go of our baggage. We did Ho'oponopono. And we both kind of looked at each other and went, I think we're done. Opened up a nice bottle of wine and then went and told my parents. And my parents sat there and they were really, my parents, I think, had more baggage to deal with than we did. We had to hold space for them. My ex is super happy now. She got married. Both kids were out at the wedding. I was teaching at the time. I mean, just, it gives you another chance. If you want another, it says right here, sorry, Margarita, I'm on my second divorce and wondering if I want to give it another chance. Quite honestly, I feel that I've let most of my baggage behind, yet fear of trusting keeps coming up. So, Margarita, the book is only $3.99 in digital. I would recommend getting the book. In it are instructions on how to let go of fear. Get to a practitioner training. If we come to your area, It's a $4,000 training that we give away for $200, and we give incredible content in it. We've been in business for 35 years. You don't stay in business for 35 years in personal growth unless you deliver. I can say that with 100% congruency. The third option is call up our office, 800-800-MIND, and ask how to get a referral, to work with someone one-on-one and get rid of any fear. Look, at the end of the day, letting go of your fear is going to let you move forward. Do you guys get that? Letting go of your fear isn't going to make you more vulnerable. Now I'm going to put on the doctor of psychology hat. People are afraid to let go of their baggage because they think it protects them. People are afraid to let go of their baggage because they think, oh, as long as I hold on to the fear, I won't get hurt again. That's the total opposite of what happens. When you have fear, you get hurt again because the fear dictates your behaviors. There's research on that. Cognitive psychology. We looked at, when I was in school, how negative emotions alter your behavior for the negative. Negative emotions do not protect you. The fight or flight response is hardwired into your neurology. And if you take it to an extreme, if you're in a dangerous situation and the building catches on fire, if you have fear, you have a 98% or so chance of dying. Sorry to put that negative imagery out there. I've had fire marshals, a former fire marshal and a fire marshal come take my trainings and go, if you have fear in a dangerous situation, you're in the 90-something% range of being hurt. In a dangerous situation, people tell you to remain calm. It's a total misconception that fear and anger protect us. They don't. Clear thinking and being able to navigate emotions in the moment, that keeps us protected. Margarita, if you let go of your baggage, your fear on trusting, you'll have a clearer idea of who to trust and who not to trust. And you'll make wiser decisions and they won't be fear-based. They won't be fear-based. And so my recommendation is, you got three options. I used to have to say, come to a live training or seek out one-on-one help. I've been praying for years that I can say, I got a book, $3.99. Go on our website, find the link, or just go to Amazon.com and type in mental and emotional release. If you click on the author link, I think it hooks you up to all the books. The MER book, Mental and Emotional Release, is my fifth book. It's my fifth book that came out. Joseph, hey, Dr. Matt, you sound great. Love what you're saying. For some reason, Facebook is freezing up on me. I'm so sorry about that. You can watch it later. I apologize. I know the internet's a two-way street type of thing. You know, it's upload speed, and I'm making sure that nothing else is going on in the house here. Also could be download, but we do record these just for fun. I'm going to take a few more questions. Rebecca, I'm so grateful for this. I'm in that crazy new space. It's comforting to know that it's okay to feel crazy. Totally okay to feel crazy. Oh yeah, you thought it was baggage, but you can see that it's not. See, that's the most important thing, right, Rebecca? We go down these paths of personal growth. We study mindfulness-based techniques. I've been studying them since I was 11. The natural reaction is to think, I'm messed up. I must have baggage. I must have wounding somewhere. My parents got divorced when I was 5. When my last relationship ended, even I started to go, what's wrong with me? Is it some childhood thing? Is it, because my parents got divorced when I was a kid? Did my mom not pay attention to me? And I stopped and I went, okay, I have some negative emotions to let go. I want to get punno. I want to get right with my ex. But really, I'm just nervous to go out there and start dating again. Rebecca, on a funny note, the last time I was dating was like 1992. Do you know how many things have changed since 92? You got to text message now. There was no texting before. Do I like her on Facebook? Do I have to like every single post? Do I have to respond to should I, heart everything on Instagram? Is that too stalker-ish? All these questions came up for me, you guys. That's called nervousness in the moment. And for a moment there, Rebecca, I thought I was going a little bit crazy. And then I realized I haven't been on a date since 1992, and things have changed dramatically since 1992. So I gave myself a break, Rebecca. I gave myself a break and just went, maybe I'm just nervous because I have a right to be nervous, because this isn't my normal thing that I do. I don't even know what to do. So give yourself a break. Pat yourself on the shoulder. Give yourself a hug. Tell yourself you're doing a good job. Tell yourself you're doing amazing and just keep navigating those emotions in the moment. And also our webinar. We got a webinar coming up on Monday. So make sure that you go to nlp.com, plug in your email address, and put your email address as whatever link you want to have so that we can let you know when something is coming up for you, when something is like a Facebook, like the Facebook Live, we do email blasts on that. Our webinar, Triss is going to be teaching a webinar on Monday. Zine, I think it's Zine Khan. Thank you so much for being here. So at this point, can we link mindfulness with NLP? I don't know, man. NLP's been around since the 70s. Mindfulness-based techniques, it depends on how you label it. If you put meditation, if you make meditation a part of mindfulness, then meditation is older than NLP. And NLP comes from hypnosis, and hypnosis and meditation go back a few thousand years. I think maybe the original mindfulness-based techniques were meditation and hypnosis, which I teach both. I love both of them. I look at NLP as the modern expression of some of these more ancient concepts or ideas. David, who do I want to be at the end of 2018? David, that's cool. Thank you for putting that up there for me. You want to be strong. Margarita wants to be strong, healthy. You're welcome, Margarita. I appreciate you saying that. And then I think I just got a whole bunch of shout outs. I'm scrolling through to see if there are any more questions. Rebecca, is there a way to feel like you can trust your intuition more when you feel it has misled you in the past? That's cool. I'm going to wrap up the Facebook Live with that question right there. And we'll wrap that up because that's a really cool question. There are so many studies in psychology, Rebecca, that say trust your gut, right? You're taking a test and your first answer is the right answer. How many of you have ever thought, your gut is screaming, you should turn right, and your mind is going, turn left, and then you turn left only to have to go right again, right? We've heard all of those analogies. In a test situation, trust your first answer. It's usually the right one. Our intuition is a combination of two things. One, the more powerful aspect of our intuition is our gut response. Your gut is connected to your higher self. Your gut is more intelligent than your mind. If you Google the gut versus the mind, the gut versus the brain, you can look at all the research on gut reaction. Your skin has more receptor sites than your brain does, so when you walk into an environment, your skin and your gut pick up on things that your mind never will. Your gut is very powerful. Your gut is also where your baggage is. Rebecca, your gut is also where your baggage is. So some people confuse intuition with I heard baggage. Think about that for a moment. Some people confuse intuition with I heard baggage from the past. So if you have a lot of fear, if your fear is justified, if you went through some horrific things and you have a lot of fear, what you thought was your intuition could have been the baggage. It could have been the fear. It could have been the anger. It could have been the sadness, the hurt, you name it. And we mistakenly think, oh, I can't trust my gut anymore because my gut misled me. From a spiritual perspective, from Huna, I would just from my heart say your gut has never misled you. From a psychology perspective, I would say your gut has never misled you. Your baggage has, which is why I've dedicated the past 20 years of my life teaching this stuff, 25 years with the company. The first 5 I was just running it, then I began teaching, to helping people get rid of their baggage, because their baggage can mislead you. And baggage, unfortunately, can scream louder than your gut. I have a guy that I used to work with. His name's Todd. He was my co-trainer for a while. Really cool guy. If any of you on here, learned from Todd, give him a shout out. Great guy. Doing a lot of amazing work out there in the world today. And Todd used to say, you need to learn how to hear your gut when it's a whisper. Because your gut starts off by saying things like, you should get out of this job. It whispers to you, but we don't hear it. We become afraid, right? We become afraid. Well, how will I pay my bills? How will I do this? Then your gut begins to say it louder. Your gut starts saying it even louder, and it says, get out of this job. then you still don't listen. Then at some point your gut begins to throw a tantrum and you get sick and you're home for a week in bed, but it's the best week you have had for so long because you're not at the job. And as soon as you get healthy, what do? You go back into the job. He's like, the secret is to begin to hear your gut when it's a whisper and hear it through the baggage. Get rid of the baggage if you can. Do ho'oponopono or do mental and emotional release. I got both books out on it now. Let go of the baggage and begin to hear your gut as a whisper. Rebecca, last thing, and then we're wrapping up. Start with something small to begin to gain a new level of trust. Start small. I share stories when I teach about going big, going all in business and career and health and fitness, relationship. I started with small things though. I started with little things, trusting my gut with simple things. Begin to trust your gut with little things and build up a new connection with your intuition so that you can trust it again, because it's the more powerful part of your mind. It truly is. Okay, that's what I got for you guys. We'll be scheduling another Facebook Live. I start teaching tomorrow, so for 2 weeks I'm going to be teaching. I'll try to squeeze another Facebook Live in there somewhere because I'm enjoying this time with you all. And I wrap up every single Facebook Live with a Hawaiian saying, and someone messaged me on Facebook and said, what do you say at the end? I say, a hui ho. A hui ho, in Hawaiian, we're a hui. Ho means to repeat. So a hui, we are a group. Ho means we're going to connect up again. The Hawaiians didn't know how to say goodbye. They said aloha to say hello and aloha to say goodbye because they didn't believe that you could ever completely disconnect. At some point, even our energy will come back to source again. So it's impossible to say goodbye. So I wrap up everything that I do, my webinars, my classes, everything by saying, thank you so much for being here. A hui ho. Class dismissed. Love you all. See you soon.